Wow, that was a loud intro. Welcome back to the channel. I'm ClolyMoly. This is Courtney, my sister, and we're doing stuff. Ghost dogs, Blue Moonlight. Let's go.
We're calling people.
Yeah. You gotta type 10-digit phone numbers. Call gangster girlfriend. Hi, girlfriend. Oh shit! I messed it up. Now I gotta start over. 1-702-555-9137. I did it. Aren't you proud of me?
If you're selling something, hang up right now. I got an air horn in my hand that could deafen a dinosaur, and I'm not afraid to use it.
Oh, no, please. I'm not selling anything. Believe me. Is this Vivian Whitmore?
Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. You got exactly 5 seconds to state your business.
My name is Nancy Drew. I'm calling from Moon Lake, Pennsylvania. I just wanted to ask you some questions.
Oh, right. The Moon Lake Park Ranger said you might call. But you have to talk fast. An old friend of mine is flying in today from Florida. And when I say old, I mean old, as in 5 years older than I am. Don't bother trying to do the math, sweet stuff. You'll hurt yourself. So,
She has so
that
much
ranger fella said you found an old picture of me.
It was of you and Mickey Malone. Do you remember him?
Of course I remember him. I remember everything about that time of my life. It was the roaring 20s, for crying out loud. One of the most exciting decades in American history. Just because I've got a few years on most people doesn't mean my brain's turned to tapioca, sweet stuff.
Did you spend much time at his place on Moon Lake?
I love her.
Moon Lake. Talk about your fond memories. I had a lot of fun there. Although I wasn't anywhere near as wild as most young people were back then. But I think Mickey kind of respected me for that. I was his gal for 5 years. He always kept birch beer on tap at that speakeasy of his just for me.
I found a safe in the cellar there.
You must be talking about the wall safe. That was Willie's. He was a guy who worked for Mickey.
Did all Malone's employees have their own safes?
Not hardly. Mickey treated most of his employees like dirt, but not Willie. He honestly liked Willie, trusted him. And when Willie decided he wanted his own safe, Mickey said, "What the hey?" No one knew the combination, not even Mickey. Mostly because Willie was constantly changing it. He was a little paranoid and superstitious. Well, as I recall, he picked the most unlucky number he could think of and used that for the combination. He called it a reverse jinx.
What can you tell me about Malone's speakeasy?
It was in the basement, right there at Moon Lake. Feds never knew about it, but everybody who was anybody on the East Coast back then, actors, musicians, bankers, politicians, they knew. You weren't big time unless you'd made at least one trip to Moon Lake Mickey's.
That's weird. I'm staying in his old house on Moon Lake, and I haven't seen any sign of a speakeasy.
Of course you haven't. You're not supposed to. Only Mickey and Willie knew how to get into the speakeasy from the house. The rest of us had to go in and out the regular way, through the cemetery.
The cemetery?
There was a lock hidden in one of the tombstones in that little cemetery behind the house. You needed a key to unlock it, and when you did, stairs would appear that led to the speakeasy.
Do you have any idea how to get into Malone's speakeasy from the house?
I sure don't. That saloon was built using 2 main ingredients, concrete and secrecy. Mickey always bragged that nobody could get in unless he wanted them in, and I do believe he was right. But I'll tell you what, if you send me that picture of me and Mickey, I'll send you my key.
How will I know which tombstone to use it in?
As a joke, Mickey had a tombstone made with the name of this federal agent who had it out for him inscribed on it. That's the one the key unlocks.
William Akers, the guy you call Willie. He wrote about looking for the gold that Malone had supposedly buried on his property at Moon Lake. Do you know anything about that?
The hole in the floor gold heist. Well, I'll be darned.
So it's true? He did bury gold on his property?
Truth be told, When Mickey told me he was the one who pulled off that heist and that he'd buried 20 gold bars at Moon Lake, I didn't believe him. I thought he was making it up. See, Mickey and I were on the outs by then. I thought he was just trying to entice me to come back. But if he told Willie the same thing, maybe there's something to the story after all.
Did he ever say anything to you about a map?
Yes. He said he was making a treasure map and that... the dogs. Something about those dogs of his.
The dogs will lead the way?
He was always saying that. In fact, I'm pretty sure he had it engraved on his tombstone. Think, Viv, think! He said he was making a treasure map, and that he was also having paintings done of each dog. He made it sound like one thing had something to do with the other, like he was giving me some big important clue. But I just figured he was playing games, trying to lure me back with mystery and intrigue. I told him to buzz off. Maybe I shouldn't have.
That gold.
Did he say what he was going to do with the paintings?
He said he was going to hang them in the speakeasy, and I'm sure that's precisely what he did.
Can you remember anything about Malone's dogs that might suggest where he hid the gold?
I've stayed away from his dogs. They made me nervous, always jumping around, barking at this or that. The only one I liked was, what was his name? Iggy. I liked Iggy because he was nice and quiet. He just lay on the porch all day and didn't make a peep.
It's been fun talking to you.
I'll be suing you.
Oh, jeez. That escalated quickly. We'll have to go back to what's his face to have him send the picture to her so we can get the stuff. Hooray!
Adventure!
Woo! We're off to do adventure! A wonderful adventure! The gold! Something about some golden dogs! La, la, la.
Hello again, Miss Drew. Am I in for another interrogation?
I'd like to mail this photo to the woman in Las Vegas. Can you do that for me?
As always, I'm here to serve, Miss Drew. Just
you?
give it to me
Again,
and I'll
what are
take
you
care of
doing?
it. I'm sure she'll be very pleased to get this back.
Thanks for all your help.
Otherwise
Not a
she'll sue
problem.
Leave those two were dating for 5 years and never proposed. I wonder why let's go back to that stump. That's not a stump, though, that's a rock. Time to go nappy nappy then. Bam. Yay.
Hello again, Miss Drew.
Thanks for all your help.
Always a pleasure.
No, nothing. Do she send it to the house? We gotta look around there.
I don't think this is the tree Red was talking about. Well, I don't see any hawks, but this is probably the tree Red was talking about. At least it was the tree. That sounded like a hawk. There it is. I better get a picture before it takes off.
Oh, I don't even see it!
I need a camera. Hey, what is that hawk standing on? Oh, that looks like a speaker. Huh?
What? Okay.
I better get out of here.
Oh no, baby hands.
Arms and legs are tied. I can't move. At least I can kick. If I could just get that scythe down, I could use the blade to cut the rope around my wrists and free my hands.
Oh, not really. Time to kick some shit. Okay, well, I don't...
I can't just let this thing burn up. I've got to put it out.
Go get the bucket of water.
What in blazes happened? I saw the fire from my platform and came running. You weren't in there playing with matches, were you?
I was looking at birds, and then I noticed something on the house. And the next thing I knew, I was locked in the tool shed and somebody was setting it on fire.
Whoa, you're not making much sense. Probably smoke inhalation or something. Come talk to me after you've cleaned yourself up and gotten some sleep. I need to tell you something.
Somebody tried to kill you?
I didn't say that.
Somebody knocked you out, locked you in a shed, set it on fire, and you think they were, what, just pulling a prank? Wake up and smell the hostile vibes, Nancy.
I guess it's just hard for me to believe that anybody would consider me to be that big a threat.
I should have never let you stay there by yourself.
Sally, I'm fine. I feel bad about your tool shed, though.
Who cares about the shed? It was full of junk anyway. I'm glad to be rid of it.
That's kind of the way Ranger Akers saw it, too. He showed up right after the birdwatcher did and ticketed me for burning refuse in a manner that endangered park property.
That man is insufferable.
Emily was nice, though. She came by right afterwards and wouldn't leave until I drank the tea she made for me.
Look, Nancy, one more time. If you want to leave, just say the word and I'll come get you.
Sally, one more time. I'm fine.
Well, then promise me you'll be careful, okay?
I promise. I'll be in touch.
You better.
Are you proud of me, though? I discovered the thing. Yep. Yay. Very proud. I did a good thing, guys. Go get dead. I thought it was just like, oh, get dead. And I was like, whoa. Hold up. Let's go look at the burnt tool shed, guys. Oh, we've got to go give him the bird picture.
It's probably not safe to go in there.
The fire's out! Okay, we'll go tonight and give him some pictures of birds. Go tonight. Oh, and there was a ladder. There's a ladder right there. But seriously though, what's the deal with the speaker?
It's got a red tail. You know, I got the hawk. He wants or I'll go to jail.
Hello there. I owe you an apology. After you came up here looking for those red tails, I gave my map a closer look and realized it was more than 50 years old. Reason you can't find them is probably because their favorite nesting tree is gone. Finding that hawk's gonna be harder than I thought, so why don't you just give me back my camera and I'll take it from here. It didn't get burned up in that fire or anything, did it?
You'll be happy to know that I did get a picture of a red-tailed hawk. So here's your camera back. I got all the birds.
Thank you, Nancy. Nice work. You're a credit to your generation.
I never noticed those gas cans before.
I ran out of gas. So much for being prepared, huh? Well, that's all I wanted to tell you. I'm sure you've got
I'm not
places to
gonna mention
go,
the
things to
gold.
see, people to pester.
See you in a while.
That's
Watch
dangerous
yourself out
to
there.
do. Hey, did you know about the shit ton of gold?
You know you might have to do it to be able to progress.
Might as well get it over with then. 'Cause,
Howdy.
Mickey Malone supposedly
But yeah,
buried
so
a
far
bunch
he's
of
number
stolen
one
gold
suspect
bars
in
on
my
his
book
property
because
way
gas
back in the
cans
20s.
immediately after
Did you
the
know
fire.
that?
Really?
And him being like, oh, I
That's
just
interesting.
looked at my map and realized
I don't much care,
was
but it's
wrong.
interesting.
So you don't know anything about it?
Nope.
See you in a while.
No hurry.
Now let's go today and talk to more people. Let's speed power. Speak easy now. Don't speak too hard.
A package just arrived for you from Las Vegas.
Yes!
High five.
Better than the
Great. Vivian
last
sent me the
game
key.
where we
Wouldn't
waited
want to break any littering laws, would we?
indefinitely
Thanks for all your
packages that
help.
never
Not a
arrived.
problem.
Wait, what's he talking about? Littering laws? I'm sorry, I just nearly got roasted yesterday, and you're like preach at me about littering laws. That's not how that works.
And you should be more respectful.
If anything, it does the exact opposite.
Yes, well, Mr. Ranger Face doesn't
How you
know
holding
that.
up?
Do you know anything about the gold that Mickey Malone supposedly buried somewhere on his property?
All I got to say about it is, if there really was a bunch of gold buried somewhere and nobody ever found it, it's for darn sure nobody ever will.
Darn sure.
Not with them dogs up there.
Okay, guess I'll see you later.
Guess I'll see you later.
Always a pleasure.
Is it? Is it really? I sure hope that it's always a pleasure. Of course, because you heard Oh, Nick Sally, Donald's No, it's only on one.
it looks like some kind of keyhole.